Hello there, beautiful soul. I would like to thank you for clicking on this video, and I'm guessing if it found you, there's probably something in it for you. If not, no worries. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to talk about something I'm kind of going through, so I figure other people are probably as well. So it's as part of the awakening process. Um, one thing I've struggled with all my life pretty much is well, actually, not really. I don't want to say all my life. I want to say since like middle school. So I started getting bullied in middle school, and um, I think that really shut me down in terms of socializing. And so I think I developed kind of social anxiety around that time when I started getting bullied. Um, and so I just wanted to talk about how I the wrong way, how I coped with it, and how that was not the wrong way, and how I got stuck in this, in this cycle, which I believe is one of the cycles I was actually um, sent to break in my family because um, so I'll get into it when I get there. But a lot of people, I'm gonna, a lot of people on the spiritual path tend to have a period of it's called the hermit in tarot, which I'm kind of new. I'm pretty new to tarot myself, so but from what I understand, it's part of the arcana tells a story if you go in order, and part of it is hermit energy where you kind of self isolate or the universe isolates you, however it happens to happen for you, whether it's you do it or outside does it for you. Um, so it's a time of like self reflection, introspection, and going inside to try and figure out what just to get to know yourself and to find out to basically to come to the realization of who you really are at your core, which is we all are the same at our core. We're, we're all God at our core, since there's no separation between anything. And I definitely want to. I've made a list of some videos I want to make. Just some general. It's information you can get anywhere, but I figure if I know something about, I don't know, maybe the way I can explain it will make more sense to some people or not. But so it's a really common, um, and I want to talk about coming out of hermit mode. So you've done all this self work, this introspection. You've healed wounds. You've healed karmic cycles from yourself. You've healed childhood wounds. You've healed maybe even family lineage wounds, like your parents passed on things, that their parents passed on, and if the people who spiritually awaken break or are cycle breakers, they break the cycle of these things, and that's definitely what I feel like I'm meant to do, at least for my family, and also my like soul lineage as well. Um, so getting back to the social anxiety thing that I kind of developed, um, probably partially due to bullying, and just because I'm very I've always been really different from everyone else, and yeah, um, so I turned in high school and then college and then for XYZ years after that, I started um, using alcohol as a crutch, basically, for social situations, and it's don't get me wrong, it's very very effective um, for that, but it can be very problematic if you start leaning on it too heavily. So I don't want to say drinking is bad. I don't have anything against drinking, but for me, it just got to be something I needed. Every time I'd be in a social situation, like I, you know, outside of like shopping at the store or something, or about you know things I had to do for work. But if I was going to be around other people, in a like a recreational setting, I always had to have a drink, always, like always. And it's just yeah, it's just a really bad path to go down. Um, it's just terrible for your body and your mind and everything. It just completely stops your development as a person, and it just it leads to so many problems, you know. So I just want to say, like, a lot of people are waking up right now and they are coming out of hermit mode. And if you're tempted, if I don't want to say it's if you don't have a problem with alcohol and having a couple of beers really helps you, talk to people and socialize and open up, go for it. But for like me, I don't want to ever, you know, do that again. So I mentioned this in another video, though. I am to a point where I can have a beer, but I just don't want to. I don't want to use that as a. Yeah, I just don't want to go back down that path. And it's just something I want to completely avoid. So one of the things that's been helping me a lot is having like a like a grounding stone type of thing. So what I have is just a little piece of hematite, um, which is like it's like an iron oxide, I think, or something. So you can get ones that are magnetic, but they make these in all kinds of different shapes. It's super cheap. It's just it's just iron, I think, some kind of special iron. And I never really thought about this, but as a kid, I used to really love these stones. Like when we go to like a science fair or something, I don't know, uh, like a museum or whatever, and they'd have rocks, geology rocks. I'd always like really drawn to like the shiny little, they're little rocks like this. This is called a worry stone, so it's it's just something to to kind of keep you grounded, like in a social situation where you're feeling nervous. It just kind of just you can hold on to it and just feel grounded and know that you're connected to the earth, and it just really helps you get back in your body, because that social anxiety thing is all in your head, and you get out of you completely get out of your body, and so it can really just help you just kind of ground back in your body. And there's a lot of other things you can do. You can learn some breathing exercises, taking deep breaths. um, there's people you can go through like all your senses, just take a minute to think about something you're hearing, something you're seeing, something you're tasting, something you're smelling, something you're touching, and just it really brings you back to your body, and it can just really just calm you down. um, so that's just a couple things. Yeah, this will probably be a short video. I just wanted to throw this out there because it's definitely something I have been struggling with, and will continue to struggle with, because I really am still pretty hermited at this point, um, especially in terms of like in person stuff. So it's just a little thing to slow you down and get you back in your body. Um, yeah, like I said, I will probably you know I to because I've been sober for long enough that I can. It's over 5 years pretty much at this point. Like, and there were several years there where I didn't have literally anything to drink at all. So, and a couple years ago, I was on vacation. My parents took me on a vacation, and I was like, you know what? I've been sober so long, I can have a drink. And so I did with my brother-in-law and my stepdad and stuff. And it's not like I got. There's one thing I will never do again. I will never get like drunk. Like that's just not something I'll never do again. I have no desire to. I've made so many bad decisions and done so many stupid things while I'm drunk. That's something I'll never ever do again. but you can get to a point. It's all personal. Like you might. It's just if when you trust yourself, basically. If you know, and that may be something you never come to, and there's nothing wrong with that. Um, I wasn't sure if I ever would trust myself again. So, but yeah, I will likely probably have a beer, you know, in a social setting, especially if it's everyone else's, and it's a well, you shouldn't feel bad. First of all, you shouldn't feel bad if people who are giving if are making you feel like bad about that. They're people like if there's a common thing like where like oh he's not having fun with us and he's making us all feel blah blah blah. But those are people you don't really want to hang out with anyway. Like especially if you're waking up like this. You know this. Like these aren't people you really want to be friends with. But sometimes you get stuck in those situations regardless, and you don't have to just who cares what they fucking think, they're on a lower they're on a lower vibration than you are, so it's just let them be. Don't worry about it. Um, so yeah, this is something that really helps for me. They make like bracelets, they make all kinds of stuff. You get like a pendant, something. But I like this because it's just something I can reach in my pocket and just kind of like just feel grounded and slow down and you know worry a little less about it. So I'm trying to think if there's anything else I wanted to say. It's just I just I felt I was making a list of stuff of videos I might want to or of topics I might want to make videos on, and this like popped out to me. Like I was like, you know what? There's probably a shitload of people who are going through the same thing, especially if they're coming out of hermit mode, like me. So I don't know. I hope this helps someone. So thanks again for stopping by, and I love you.